TrekWars, Duels Across the Stars. Episode 18, the one with the whales. Top 5 animals.
Famous smuggler Olympus has returned to the planet Corellia in an attempt to rescue animals from Coronet City Zoo for a mysterious patron. Little does Olympus know that rival smuggler Ben Kerno has been sent by the Ferengi Alliance to catalogue all the animals with the intention to send them to a newly bought moon for the Grand Nagus' brother Quark as a present. Will these fierce rivals end in blows? Will they both get paid? Or will they get in a big debate and end up deciding on who has the best animals, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Welcome to our episode on top 5 animals, where we're going to decide who has the best animals, Star Trek or Star Wars. So, can I introduce first of all my co-host?
I am Olympus. Good to be here. Thank you. And this is my co-host.
And I should have started with that. And I'm Ben Kerno. So, thank you for listening and watching. Just a few shout outs to start with. I will put timestamps in the YouTube video. So if anybody wants to skip ahead, please do so. Also, we also come out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you want to just listen to it at work or on your commute, please do so. Please press the like buttons, subscribe buttons, and the follow buttons. That's always appreciated. So if you want to see any more content like this, we've also done 17 other. Oh, I lie. Actually, we've done 19 other rounds because we've got 17 of our normal Trek versus Star Wars content, and we've got 2 specials for May the 4th and First Contact Day. So, in that case, do you have anything else to say before we get to the meat of the issue?
A couple of things. First off, top 5 animals. Super interesting topic. I've been really looking forward to this. I have my picks ready to go. It was a bit of a difficult choice.
Great.
But my key message, Ben, do we share our picks with each other ahead of recording?
We certainly don't. Okay, I sent a brief pictures of half some of my picks,
You did
but
this time, yes.
I made sure that was the odds and ends or the duplicates. So that was not in order, and it was not all my picks, as Olympus will find out later on.
Fantastic.
So if anybody at home does have their own top 5 picks, or even just top 1 pick, please put that in chat in the comments. Would love to hear what you think. We usually have some rules before we start getting into the picks.
Yes, we do.
So, Olympus, what is your picks or your rules for your picks?
Before I get to that,
Oh,
I can make my mic appear.
I did notice that, and I was trying to be not think
And then
about
I was
that.
like, "Ooh." Sorry, totally got distracted there. Yeah, so my rules. I have one rule. I've only got one rule. The animal cannot be from Earth.
Ooh, very interesting.
Because two, maybe 3 of the animals would have been from Earth, and I just felt I wanted to do something a little bit different with this list. So yeah, that's my one and only rule.
I'm slightly disappointed because that's also my rule. So
Yes.
we'll have to get. We usually only match stuff in our picks occasionally, but we don't usually pick the exact same rule.
Yeah, that's the first.
Yeah. We have similar ones, but never exactly the same. But no, I've decided no animals from Earth, or originating from Earth at least. And I will go in the honourable mentions. I will bring some of those up myself.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I've got 3 Earth-based animals in my honourable mentions.
Oh, cool. Also, I've picked them in. I would love to see these animals in the wild. And if they were a case of there are pet animals. So, like some of the Earth ones, or at least one of the Earth ones on my honourable mentions. I would love to see them as a pet or have it as a pet. Also, I say animals, this is hard to describe, but it's basically, I know like humans are animals, but I'm not going down like human or Twi'lek or Klingon or Vulcan type route with that. So
no higher level species.
Short answer, yes, but definition of higher was troubling in my head when I was going to go down that.
It's very difficult to describe, isn't it?
Yeah. So decided not to go down that route. Olympus, do you want to go first with your number 5 pick?
Yes, I will kick off with an animal that was introduced back in the 1960s. It is a cute, fluffy, cuddly, there you go, Vince got it. Cute, fluffy, cuddly little thing with the most cute little trill. Like, I'm not even going to try and do it. I can't do it, but it's got this gorgeous little trill. If you ever play Star Trek Online, get one of these little animals and activate it, and you just get the cozy little animation. They're lovely. They also breed like rabbits on steroids. And I reference you to a short trek, which I can't remember the name of.
Trouble was Edward?
Yes, that's it. Thank you. The Trouble with Edward, which is a phenomenal showcase on Tribbles. We've also got The Trouble with Tribbles, which is Trouble with Tribbles, the TOS episode name. Or was that the DS? Cool, so that was that one.
Yeah.
Because didn't
Trials and Tribulations, reference, which was Trials and Tribulations.
Tribulations, thank you.
Yeah. And there was also an animated series, one which I can't remember the name for.
So if none of you have guessed from any of that, including multiple times me using the species name now, I'm talking about the Tribble. There are so many varieties of it as well. STO's got a mammoth variety of different colours. You see different colours and sizes of them in Star Trek media. You even see, did they call it a battle tribble in Picard when they're on the Daystrom station? It was either Cannibal Tribble or Battle Tribble or something. It literally launches itself at a at the window, and you just see all these teeth. It's a bit like a mini Sarlacc trying to get through the clouds. So yeah, wide variety. You've even got Black Alert Tribble in Star Trek Online as well, referencing to Discovery. It's that's a cute little animation as well, where your guy tries to take out the Tribble, and he's like, "Where's it gone? Where could it be?" And then it just like black alerts into your hand.
And there's two others I want to mention. There was also one from Into Darkness, which saved Kirk's life.
That's right.
There was also, I've got a third actually. I think you could hear one purring on Lorca's desk in Discovery.
You can, and you see it there as well.
Around this, missed it. And also, I know Star Trek Adventures has got a stat block. They've done a free stat block for it as well for its TTRPG. I think it might have been a captain. I can't remember, but it was like a Captain Tribble or something like that. But
nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Brilliant.
I'm glad you picked that. Love it.
Oh yeah, the Tribble had to be in my top 5. It's an iconic Star Trek animal. So yeah, there you go. My number 5 is the gorgeous little Tribble.
Oh, I love it. I don't know how many of mine are going to be or iconic, to be honest. I think one has possibly come with, but I'll let you decide on that. Other people decide if this one is iconic later. But with my picks, I've decided to go to the oceans. And specifically, I've gone to the oceans of Naboo.
There's always a bigger fish.
There is, and it's not that one. So it is the one that actually grabbed, the bigger one grabbed. which is an OP sea killer. I had no idea of the name, but it was like, but until I was doing my research here, it's like I want to say it's not combination of either pear shaped or egg shaped very badly. With this one, it's got sharp teeth, a long tongue. It's got things coming back from its head, almost like that thing from the deep oceans of Earth with the light on it, but it's almost that's backwards. And I don't know if that's to stop other people, other big fish eating it or not. And then it's got about, I don't know if it's 6 or 8 legs at the back, almost like almost like, I can't think of the thing, like a crab maybe or something like that. But I don't know what that's for. But yeah, it's the one that tries to take out Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Jar Jar Binks on Naboo. But looking at the animal, I would love to see it. I don't want to get eaten by it, but I would love to go to the deep oceans and see these weird animals. Actually, yeah, there is even a lot of animals on Earth I would love to go into the sea and see. That I want, and this one stood out a lot for me when I was going through my pictures. For it, because this one, like I'd done with outfits, I just literally downloaded a load of pictures for it, and then was just moving left and right to see who I wanted. You could go where you want on that subject, to be honest, but
Indeed. I wasn't expecting that. That is a big surprise. And one I hadn't thought of either. So yeah, brilliant pick. I don't really have much else to say about it. Only it definitely leaves an impression when you see it on screen in that movie.
Definitely. I think it looks even more impressive when you actually get the pictures of it, and just where it's not rushing past, and yeah, cutting from scene to scene. It looks even better, I think, from there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my number 5 pick. The OP Star Killer. Oh, Star Killer? That's a different person. OP Sea Killer.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben. My next one was, to be totally honest, this one keeps flitting up and down between number 4 and number 2. So it's locked in at number 4 now. It's been locked in for a little while. And we've only just met it, literally by a couple of days. It was in the season finale of Star Trek Discovery. It is this absolutely gorgeous deer that you see in almost the epilogue of the episode when Burnham is in her garden at her house, just talking to this gorgeous deer with just covered in browns and greens, and it's obviously an alien deer. She's not on Earth, but it's absolutely beautiful, and I've lost a photo of it to try and describe it properly, which is a bit annoying. There it is. That's it right there.
So for those on the podcast, have a look on their YouTube, or just write Dear Alice into or Alice Deer into Google.
Yeah, it's you don't see much of it. I think you hear it make a little sound at some point. It definitely acts like an ordinary deer when the shuttlecraft comes in. It kind of gets a bit skittish and runs off. But there's an intelligence in its eyes. That's what I loved about it as well. It's like it was studying and understanding Burnham when she was talking to it. I love seeing new alien creatures, and to see one so beautiful just really helped round off the finale, I think. Whole strange new worlds, discovering new things, utterly loved it.
Cool. And have you managed to work out what the name of the type of deer it is?
No, I've been trying to search for it. I can't find it.
Neither can I. I don't think they've come up with it.
I think they just credit it somewhere, alien deer. It's like, really?
Yeah. There's even a section on Memory Alpha with deers on it. and that's not in it.
Dang.
So,
We might need to wait a little while and see if someone eventually gets it added in. I mean, they're gonna start getting asked questions about it at conventions. They'll have to
yeah,
name
it's
it at
probably
some
going to
point.
come out in a book or something with it. I'm sure it's one of these animals of Star Trek or Star Trek Discovery
Fair point.
season 5 book. That's my theory.
That's a good. That's a
I'm not.
that's a good
Yeah.
theory.
Anyway, I'm not going to say too much more at the moment. Anyway,
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
and yeah, no, I'll leave it for later. I'm not going to say any more quite at this moment.
Brilliant. In that case, mate, over to your number 4.
So I'm sticking with Star Trek Discovery, but I'm going to a planet that I definitely know the name of, Trill, and this is from an episode called Forget Me Not, where uh, Michael Burnham's going down to the planet with Adira, and they're going to. I can't remember exactly what they were doing, but they were going to the ponds for there and try to help with the symbiont and Adira. Um, and as they're walking up to a group of delegates there, they walk past this pond where you see some flying fish jumping in and out.
I
And then one
totally
comes.
missed that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you've got no good pictures, but one of them actually does fly away as hovers a bit and then flies away. They look absolutely gorgeous. I nearly didn't have them because I could not get a decent still picture for them, but it's ever since I saw them, it was like, wow, some animals. And I was about to say in the background, but this was in the foreground
Mm-hmm.
uh, for them. It was like Trill looked absolutely gorgeous. It was beautiful, colourful. This flying fish was again in its own way unique. I know we have flying fish on Earth, but it's not something that I have seen very much, and they don't usually look quite as beautiful as this. Um, and again, I would go into my points of I would love to see them. I would love to go and sit there and Trill overlooking this pond and maybe a picnic and just watching them swim and fly around this pond. It would just be a nice, relaxing day, I think.
That does sound lovely. That sounds really nice. I'm so glad you picked that because I genuinely can't remember them. I must have seen them because I've seen the episode, but I can't remember them. So I'm going to go away and watch that later. They sound utterly beautiful.
Yeah. So I will try to do a short for that. Try to get an image of them moving around
Awesome.
there. So anyway, that's my number 4 pick. The flying fish on Trill.
Fantastic. Over to number 3 for me then.
Moopsy.
Oh wow! I'm
Oh,
glad
yeah.
you did. This was on my list for so long at the number 1 position, mainly because of
Moopsy.
I know I'm taking over from you saying
No,
your
go for
thing,
it,
but
go
I
for it,
want to
go for
say
it.
this. But it's basically because it has become our almost official sound, especially to swearing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think we can thank Arwen from that,
Agreed.
who brought it up. I don't know if he's said it deliberately for swearing, censored himself, but it's come up in that.
You're
And
right.
I know
It was after Armin's first episode with us. That's when it got introduced. You're right.
yeah. And then we had Stu after that too. We were talking to him about that in the next episode, and he actually got a
Moopsy.
down and he didn't manage to eat his bones, but he was there sitting nicely behaved beside Stu. But yeah, it's become our default sound for bad words.
Yes, yes, it sure has. Which is one of the reasons why I love it as well. It's just so fun. It's lower decks all over as well. This cute, adorable little thing that will eat your bones. It is pure white. It almost looks a little axolotlish. in a kind of way. At certain angles, but it just looks like a ball of cute, fluffy adorableness. And then it pulls these massive, massive big teeth and like just chomps and strains this animal's bones from its flippin' body. And the horror that ensues is absolutely chaotic and utterly hilarious. So as I say, there's lower decks all over. It
Yeah,
was also on my number one spot for a long time, and then I forced it down to number three. Because I started thinking, you know what, Moopsy, like I'm already feeling guilty. It's not my number one spot. It probably should have been my number one spot. In fact, it definitely should have been my number one spot. See, I've just convinced myself again. I've done it bad, but I was trying to think about how much long-term impact have these animals had on me. So not just the strength of the impact, but over what length of time. And obviously Moopsy has not been with us for very long. So as soon as I applied that logic, it bumped it down a little bit, I'm afraid. But he really should be at the top spot.
yeah. And
He's our mascot.
he has become the mascot, and that's why he was on my list. I realised it's not necessarily an animal I wanted to go to visit and see, which is why it came off. Even though it's gorgeous black eyes looking at you, mariners in other one go hands on the zoo, so like windows, so like looking in at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like so adorable. But yeah, I didn't go for it. And the thing is, I think in my unofficial rule is they had to appear in live action, so it's
There you go then.
it probably as well. So it probably where you got they look a lot more real in live action, even if some of them are by CGI.
You realise now I really want to see a live action Moopsy.
Oh, so do I. Got to be done.
I mean,
And I
they've brought Hesperia into live action canon with albeit you don't see it, but you hear them talking about it. It was Reno in Discovery mentioned Hesperia in season 5 of Discovery. So if they can pull that out, they can give us a Moopsy.
Oh, definitely. I'm glad you picked that because that was my biggest regret taking off my list, even more than the Earth animals.
I was gonna say, like, I regret just bumping her down to 3. You removed her entirely.
Yeah, and
Shame. I'm just joking.
and I've realised three of my picks are probably from. Oh, I was not going to say this decade. Actually, probably from the last 10. 3 of them are from the last 10 years, and 5 of them are from this century. And considering I was somebody who got brought up on 90s Trek, I'm surprised that I've got none of my animals are from earlier. Actually,
Holy smokes! None of my animals originate from the TNG era.
ooh,
No, well, the honorable mentions might be different, but my main picks,
yeah.
they're all, they are all in the last few years, and then I've got one which is maybe in the last 10, maybe 15 actually when I think about it, and then obviously you've got the triple.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go to my other recent one, which is again the only animal we have not got an animal name on, and I don't believe we've got an original planet that it's on either.
Ooh.
And that's Alice the deer. So that's on my list. It's again I love deer in real life. You can find them relatively near to where I live, as in probably as the crow flies about 10 miles. Definitely 10 miles, at least probably 5 miles if you go that way over the liner. You could probably find them there. But this one was, it's just the color. It was like that reddy orangey color. The horns were slightly different because they looked like they join up at the top, at the back of their heads. And it's almost like wood twisted together and the back of the heads. just a gorgeous animal, and it's on a gorgeous planet with all that red and orange. And yeah, as of recording, that's the discovery came out. As you said, 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. 4 days ago. Wow. And it's just like got on the list like that. It's just like it's probably the newest thing that I've ever had for the picks in anything.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm obviously the same as well. It's just like the episode was good, but that deer stood out. I just every time I think about that episode, I think about that deer.
Yeah, no, absolutely love it to bits. Would love to see it and go to one of these areas where you feed them. It would be lovely.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 3 pick, Alice.
Fantastic, which takes me to my number 2 pick. So my last 3 have all been Star Trek. I am now going to move to the Star Wars universe and introduce you to the Purrgil.
Ooh, I remember that name.
So
I cannot remember the animal though.
You will in a second. So the Purrgil are ginormous space whales.
That's the ones.
Yes. And they're particularly special space whales because not only can they survive in the vacuum of space, not only do they have a deep intelligence and a very strong connection with the Force, they can also go to light speed. They've got like biological hyperdrives, so to speak.
And even go to another galaxy, which is far, far away.
Yeah, exactly.
Tish.
Yeah, love it. I love it. And you've just reminded me as they've launched and they start telling the story a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you're like, oh my god, they've just said the thing. They've never said the thing before. I remember that hyping when I was watching Ahsoka when they were inside the space well. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now you actually first see the Purrgils in Rebels. Ezra is able to garner the support of the space whales to send him and Thrawn in Thrawn's massive Star Destroyer to another galaxy, basically. So it was very, very fitting when it came to the Ahsoka season that we get to see those whales again, and they take Ahsoka and Sabine on that same migration journey where they're able to, spoiler alert, find Ezra and Thrawn.
I'm glad it's a nice way to almost start a new story for a new series. It was just like nice way they added to it. I haven't seen that episode, but because of watching Ahsoka, I was aware of it, and I've even got an image of the whales in the cartoon form. They are, and they do look gorgeous. I know I have seen the Ahsoka ones as well. Yeah, love them.
There's a variety of different sizes as well. You get to see them in their different sort of stages of development in Ahsoka, and then you just see this massive big one just coming up out of the clouds. I think it went up. Either came up or it came down. I can't remember which. But I think it went up. The scale of that one was immense. But again, it's similar to the deer, like Alice the deer. There's the intelligence that you can see in its eyes. Which you've got to admit that CGI is phenomenal to be able to provide that level of experience when you're watching it. So yes, that's my number 2, the Purrgil.
No, I'm glad you picked that, and unfortunately, those whales didn't get close in my pick. Unfortunately, because I love so many other ones, but they are nice. And with our title, I am glad we've got some space whales.
Oh, we had
here,
to, didn't we?
In the ones with the whales, so we had to. So for next one, I've definitely gone down the cute line on this one.
Oh.
So I think you've definitely got opinions on this.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
cute eyes. So the origin of these was they were doing some filming off an island. I can't remember if it was off. I don't think it was off Devon. It was off. I think it was off Somerset, somewhere near where I am, for a scene in the Last Jedi.
Oh, I know what you
Um,
pick.
yeah, and they had puffins on there, which are absolutely gorgeous creatures.
They are.
And I've seen
beautiful.
them off the Isles of Scilly. So yeah, I decided to. They decided to keep some sort of bird thing in the series, and those are the porgs, who I find absolutely adorable. And I don't like Chewie for this moment where he is eating them. They are
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I genuinely thought, because the porgs that grow like the porgs are very cute. I will agree with you. They are so cute. But my dark, twisted Scottish humour, just absolutely loved it when Chewie had cooked one. He was sitting there about to eat it, and the other porgs are looking at him like, and he
Yeah,
ends up not eating it. I just thought that was one of my favourite
yeah.
scenes in that movie. It's so good.
It is a good scene, but unfortunately, that was a bit too dark. Oh no, it wasn't too dark for me. I did find it
You love
funny,
the
as it.
animal too much. That's what it
I did,
was.
yeah. I was like the porgs there, going, "No, what you
That's my
horrible."
brother.
Yeah, and actually, there was a moment where after they put threw his lightsaber down, that there was the two porgs, and one was perfectly lined up with the hilt to with the where the lightsaber light would be. And I was going, please don't, and they didn't. They were just teasing, playing with us on that one. It was just like, yeah. I was thinking, oh no, they're going to end up stabbing themselves with one jumping on the lightsaber, but no, I find them cute, adorable, and for that one they actually done the job. Unlike certain other characters and species, alien species that are okay. There are when someone's like let's say Jar Jar Binks or the Ewoks. It's I don't necessarily find them as adorable as they were supposed to be, but the Porgs definitely do. And yeah, I love it that they're the animals that are off the islands, off the coast, the north, equivalent to off the north coast of where I am. So
And I love the character that they've been able to infuse into those porgs as well.
yeah,
They're very lively, cute little creatures, and all of them have a little personality on screen. They definitely did their CGI in the sequel trilogy very well, especially when it comes to animals, didn't they?
yeah, no, they did, and for the most part, just no, actually, that's the only one from the sequel trilogy I have. Yeah, wow, it's just like, but I know I had to have them. Every time I had the picture, there was like, no, that's too cute to have. So that's my number two pick, and number six controversial opinion on it. At least in my
Lovely,
opinion, controversial opinion.
lovely pick. I'm really glad you picked it, and I'm sure Chewbacca somewhere is gutted he didn't get his barbecue in the end, but he couldn't stand the guilt of the porgs watching him.
Okay, so what is your number one
So
pick?
my number one still comes from Star Wars. You better see it in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And when I saw this, I would just love to see this animal in real life and get to interact with it. And oh, it's just utterly gorgeous, to the point that when they brought it out as a mount in Star Wars: The Old Republic, it's one of the first things on the cartel market I properly went out of my way to buy. It's stunning. It comes in a variety of different colours, and it has this very special little cry. It almost sounds like a bird. The cry it's got is a bit like a bird. You will probably know it best, Ben, from the scenes in Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan Kenobi is riding it along the cliff face before he gets essentially blown up by the clones during Order 66. So I'm talking about the Varactyl.
So yeah,
Now the Varactyl in
oh,
that
lovely.
scene, if I remember right, is a sort of bluey yellow, maybe some green in there. I'm doing this from memory. I don't have a picture up. And it's like a feathered lizard, a very large feathered lizard, and it's utterly gorgeous. And its face has a bit of a sort of beak thing towards the mouth. So it's got sort of that mix between bird and lizard scenario. It's got the ability like a lizard to climb very easily. It's got that type of feet for it. And it's just utterly cute, as well as cool, because it's just whizzing
It
past
is.
super fast.
Yeah, and it looks like it's got that. The hair that it's on the back is also looking like it's going down some of its back and its tail as well.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is. That's right.
yeah, yeah. It does look nice, and I remember that those scenes on there where they are. Uh, they have the creature there, the animal, and it's just like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, lovely there.
Yep. I'm just double checking here. I finally found the images. And it is. Let's find a good. Yes, I was right. Yeah. It's like. It actually reminds me, looking at it now, a little bit like a cross between a lizard, a bird, and a griffin kind of
Yeah,
approach.
the head
Um,
definitely can look like a griffin,
Yeah,
possibly.
and
Yeah.
when it goes up on it to its hind legs, because there's a picture here, an artist impression of it on its hind legs, which the screen is not really showing us, but it's kind of coming
Oh,
through
yeah,
there.
that's a little bit better. Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we are.
There you
Focus.
go.
Oh, I love it.
So that's where I'm
That's
getting a kind of
I
griffin
like that
idea
image.
from. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, when that came out in the Old Republic, I was a very happy man, and I would love to be able to see one in real life, get to ride one. Um, they're just really cool. It's a shame we don't see more of them in the movies or the shows. Um, but yeah, it's the reason I've got that as my number one is because of the impact that had on me the first time I saw it in Revenge of the Sith, and how much I loved it. And then when it came out in the Old Republic, that to this day is one of my favorite mounts. I use it a lot in the Old Republic.
Yeah, I do
Um,
have it on one of my characters as well, and it is a great, a lovely mount.
And you've got a variety of different ones in the Old Republic as well. So you've got the colours like that, the green, bluey, yellows. You've got a different kind of jungly one. You've got a cave Varactyl, which is kind of greys and blacks, but it's feathers. There are certain feathers that glow blue in the shadow or in the darkness, which is a very nice little touch too. So they've expanded a little bit on the creativity, which I like.
Oh no, I'm yeah, I glad they brought them, and it is a good mount they have there. I can't remember which color I've got, but yeah, I love them on mount. I I decided I probably didn't like that quite as much in the films as I love the scenes and I love them as the maps in the Old Republic, but I don't. When I look at them, I don't go, "Oh, that's quite as nice as some of the animals that I've that made my list."
I know that's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's a very personal thing, isn't it? But for me, there's just something about it that really stood out and made an impression for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh,
So,
glad to pick that.
what is your number one then?
So I went to Attack of the Clones with this one. So there is a almost arena scene, a very famous
Mm-hmm.
arena scene with lots of stuff, and you've ended up with at the start of that a few animals in there. You specifically got three who are to take down Obi-Wan, Anakin, and I just had a
Padme.
sudden Padme. Sorry, I don't know why I've had a mind blank on Padme there. So it is one of those ones. I haven't picked all three, but
So, hang on, let's see if I can remember the name. So you've got the Acklay
mhm,
are the Nexu. That's the tiger looking one.
Yeah.
And then you've got the dinosaur rhino looking one, and I can't for life remember what that one's called. No, I can't remember what that one's called.
Fair enough. I'll help you out soon with that one. But two of my favourite animals from Earth, or one of my favourite animals, and another one I would love to see is a triceratops and a rhinoceros. I would love to see those in real life. They are some of my favourite animals on Earth so far, and that's why I went for the reek, which is the three-horned
Thank you.
animal there. Two horns coming out the side, one out the head. Because I was thinking, I want to go with a rhinoceros one. There was another on my short list, which I nearly picked, but I decided to swap this one out because I prefer. It's nice. It sounds this, but I prefer like the dinosaurs, old-fashioned dinosaur slash rhino slash lizard type skin on them than I do like the hair for some of these creatures and animals. For me, it's not necessarily the scene it's from. It's not necessarily for cuteness. It's just one I would love to see in the wild, and I don't know why. It's just something about them that almost looks like a gentle giant sort of thing. But it's I don't know why. It's literally just the look that I just have for some reason have a thing for when it comes to animals. And
Well, it stands out. It definitely stands out. It's a gorgeous animal. I totally see where you see the Triceratops rhino vibe from it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think?
Oh, it's a lovely pick. It is, and typical out of the three that you teased us with there. I couldn't remember the name to the one that you had picked.
Which I was thinking that's going to be a spoiler because I was going to try to get it out for a little while and then realised, yeah, you probably got which one I was going to pick for. But the next year was close there on my list as well. But
I honestly did not know which of the three. I didn't think you'd have gone for the Acklay, but the Nexu or the Reek, I thought it would have been one of those two.
Yeah, it is. So let's have a quick rundown of what we picked before we check the scores and do the honourable mentions.
Lovely, jubbly.
Olympus, would you like to go first?
Yes, so number 5, we had Trouble with Triples. Number 4 was that absolutely stunning deer from the finale of the Discovery just a few days ago. Number 3, Merpsy. Number 2 were the Purgils, which you see in Star Wars Rebels and in Ahsoka. Oh, and you also see a glimpse of them, in The Mandalorian. Season 2 or Season 3, he's at warp. I think he's asleep. Grogu's looking out of his little pod, and you can see the Purgils outside of their hyperspace lane, let's call it, flying at the same speed. I thought that was pretty cool. And then my number 1 was the absolutely stunning Varactals.
Cool. So my top 5, at 5, the OP Sea Killer. At number 4, Flying Fish from Trill. Number 3, it is Alice the Deer. And number 2, it's the Porgs. And number 1, it is the Reek. Now, Olympus, have you worked out what the score is?
Oh shoot, no I didn't. So let me think here. No. I think Trek has won, but not by a lot.
It is very close. And it is actually a 5 apiece.
Oh.
I went 3-2, and you to Star Wars, and you went 3-2 to Trek. Now,
draw. Tell me that you've worked out some type of tiebreaker or something.
Yeah. It is technically our second draw, but yes, I've got a tiebreaker. I've actually done 2 community polls because I had plenty of time with this one. The first one, where we had a list of a Targ, a Rancor, a Moopsie, and a Porg. and we had 10 votes for this.
The Moops had better have won.
So, with 10% of the votes, it's the Targ. With 20% of the votes, the Raptor.
Oh,
So, and then you have 30% and 40%.
come on, Moopsy.
So Moopsy gets second, and then the Pork has number one. No, I did have a second one. I've only had time to get 6 votes with
Hang
that
on,
one in
hang
so
on,
far.
hang on, hang on. I'll give you a 7th. I'll give you a 7th. I haven't seen this one yet. I did see the other one. Just bear with me. Let's see. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How did I miss that one? There you go.
Okay, I'm going to have to refresh my page for that. So, on the other one, we had a Sarlacc. Not Sarlacc. Where am I getting that from?
No idea, but that's a good pick.
It is. It is. We had a Nexu. We had a Tribble. We had a Saylat, which is the one I was trying to think of. And we had a Lovecat. So, in last place was a Nexu with 0% of the votes.
That
we
is
had,
a shame.
It is, because it is a lovely animal. In third was Say That, which I had the animated series picture of, which was a lot cuter than the one from Enterprise.
It looks like a cute little bear, doesn't it? It's
It
adorable.
is. It does. And then at number 2 place was 29% of the votes is the Tribble.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got in number 1, we got the Loftcat, which is very adorable.
Absolutely. And I can't believe I forgot about Loftcats because that would have been in my top 5. It would have knocked Tribbles off the list for sure, at the very least.
Yeah. Whatever happens, we had Star Wars win both those. But Loftcat did have more votes. No, it's got the same amount of votes as the Porg, I believe, when I'd done my maths right earlier. So, but I know that's 2 different votes, so it's not quite working out. But the tiebreaker gives it to Star Wars for that. For the fans voted. So,
thank you, community, for breaking that tie. We can't be having a tie on these episodes, not anymore. There always needs to be a winner.
Yeah. And for anybody who is interested on YouTube, at TrekWars and Fantasy, we have community tabs where I'll put up, usually related to the episode coming up, a poll there. So let's get on to the honourable mentions, shall we?
Let's. Okay, I'll jump in first then. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've just added the 7th. 3 guesses what that was. I'll start from the top. No particular order to these, but the first 2 are cats. So we've got Spot, who is Data's cat in The Next Generation and the movies. This gorgeous ginger tabby, who Data absolutely adores. I absolutely adore Spot. And a big part of that, I think, is as well because it's the same type of cat that my parents have. They actually had 2 of them. One of the brothers passed away a little while ago, unfortunately, but they've still got Lloyd. So it was Harry and Lloyd, but they've still got Lloyd. And again, very, very similar looking. They're absolutely gorgeous. I've also got another cat, Grudge from Discovery. How could you not have Grudge? And actually, I need to try and find this book because I found it in a bookshop in Edinburgh. And at the time I didn't have the spare cash to buy it, but there's a dedicated book of I don't think it's called Grudgisms, but it is essentially Grudgisms. So it is basically the Star Trek universe as perceived through the eyes of Grudge. So it's more like little motivational pages with a quote from Grudge about a particular topic and a lovely photo of her alongside it. It's brilliant. I need to find the book because it's stunning. She's
quotes from a queen.
Oh yes, from a queen. She's such she's so full of character and even if it's grumpy character, it's still character. I just love it to bits. Anyway, I'm rambling. Next up, we'll move away from cats to dogs for a moment, and we're going to talk about Porthos. And I'm not
Which
talking
one?
about... I think, which one? Am I talking about the Musketeer?
Yeah. No, which Porthos, the dog?
Oh, well, are there two Porthos?
Yes,
Is
we've
that
got
two different dogs that played the same character?
not quite. We had a Rottweiler, I believe,
Did we?
in the Mirror Universe,
Oh, I never even realised that.
and I forgot what the one in the normal universe is in the Prime Universe. But there's the one. It's the Porthos. There is gorgeous.
Carno. It's a beagle.
I know. Sorry, I apologize. I distressed them.
Bastard. It's a beagle. No, that's really interesting. Right, joking aside, that's really interesting. I didn't realise, because I've only ever seen that Mirror episode once, I think, and I did not twig at all that, or at least I must have twigged at the time, but I've totally forgotten that Porthos was, what did you say it was a Rottweiler?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a Rottweiler. But
To be fair, that
consider I
would make
cannot remember
sense.
Beagle. I cannot. I could easily make a mistake. So
No. That is ironic, though. One Mirror episode, you remember the species of the dog. 4 seasons. Oh, that's funny.
yeah.
No, I've learned something new there. Thank you, Ben. That's nice. I need to go back and take a look at that. So Porthos, I was talking about the Beagle, but let's give the Rottweiler an honourable mention as well. I'll then move away from what do you call it? Cats and dogs for a moment, and go back to our episode's namesake. And these are the original 2 humpback whales from the voyage home.
And do I remember correctly? I heard a rumor that they are actually both female.
I
But
believe
don't
they
know if
are,
that's
yes.
true.
Yes, I believe
don't
they
know if
are.
Yeah. So I've gone to repopulate the whale population, and it's like
It's 2 girls.
it's like yeah.
You'd think, wouldn't Scotty have like scanned them before taking them away or not? But never mind.
To be honest, nobody would have really thought about it at the time, but
Yeah. So that's humpback whales. I've got 3 more. So the Thrantas that you see in Star Wars: The Old Republic, you can use them as the taxis on Alderaan. It's like these big rays that you would see in the ocean, but they fly through the sky. They're really, really cool. The Lothcat, which I had forgotten about. That should have been my top 5 because it is so adorable. And the last one, Ahsoka's owl. So there's this lovely owl that keeps appearing to Ahsoka. It links to the whole mythology between the father, the daughter, and the son. I believe it's some type of connection to that mythology. But this owl watches over Ahsoka through Clone Wars Rebels, and you see it as well at least once or twice in the in the live action. It's this gorgeous little thing, but then I do like owls, so
well, they are nice animals.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, there you go. I'll stop there. That's my honorable mentions.
Cool, great one. Honorable mentions, and this is right so hard. But also thinking about it, Bo-Katan's helmet with the owl or the bird on it.
Yep.
10 out of 10 for that.
Absolutely.
But I've already done outfits, so that was up there. The other one I want to start with is the Hapabor, which was from The Force Awakens, where you sit in the Uncle Put's area where that big bowl of water is, and you say Finn goes to try to get some water.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, you've got almost hippopotamus. It's not even a hippopotamus. It's like it's
mass. It's just
massive.
mass.
It's just weird vast thing. It's yeah. I kind of like that creature. I don't know why, but it's coming there. The one animal that started up on there is the Rancor. That was started high up on my list. Unfortunately, dropped out. Though I like that. You can tell a thing that I like some of the reptilian species as well, whether it's lizards and stuff like that. And thinking about lizards, the iguana from a holodeck iguana from
Yes.
Star Trek Voyager that was kept by the Doctor's creator, Doctor Thingy-Majiggy, which I've suddenly forgot his name.
Zimmerman? Dr. Zimmerman?
Zimmerman. Yeah, Zimmerman. I can't even say it properly, but yeah.
Neither can I. Zimmerman.
I can't even. It sounds like cinnamon. Cinnamon. I can't even say that. Cinnamon.
Zimmerman. There you go. Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Oh, that took a little bit of tongue twisting to get.
It did. Another one note I went for is when you see Obi-Wan and Luke heading, and I presume C-3PO as well, possibly R2-D2. I can't remember if all four of the droids were, all two of the droids were in there. But when you see them go into Mos Eisley, there's this big dinosaur thing that you see a Jawa will fall off. I can't remember its name now, but almost looks like a dinosaur. So like 4 big legs, long neck. It's that like that one as well. The one that I was originally thought of when I'd done the Rhino was the mud thingy-majiggy, which I've suddenly had a mind blank and I can't find it on my list, and I'm running out of time. But it's the one that Grogu's like picks up on his feet when it was attacking Mandalorian
in season 1.
Yeah, that one is. I was thinking of that one for a long while, and then I saw its hair, and then it just looked too muddy and horrible and ganky, and it was just like, no, can't go for there. And other than the ones you've missed, I've got 2 more. One is the bunny corn from Star Trek Picard, and again that one, unfortunately, I left out because I could not get a picture of it properly.
You could have, but you won't like what I'm about to say. You could have got a picture of it.
Oh, don't know. I don't want that
pizza.
One. Yeah.
There's my dark humour coming out again.
No, I to be honest, I am all into dark humour. To be honest, you only see a picture. In the picture I got, it just looks like a bunny. I can't see why it's called a bunny corn in the picture. So that didn't make that. And if you're an arachnophobe, skip forward 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I was going for Palooka, which you can find on one of the moons of Bajor, which looks like a massive spider thing, and again something else that the Resistance used to eat.
Right, back to the bunny corn for a second. I can just see. It's going to be quite difficult for you guys to make it out, but it has. Will this work if will the camera read it? There you go.
Oh, that's a bit clearer than my picture, but it's still struggling to see the one.
It is a bunny rabbit with a horn. How creative is that?
It is.
It's literally it's like a unicorn but a bunny.
Yeah, and it was tempted to go through that. It was just like, unicorns are great, rabbits are great. Combination of both.
Apparently tasty.
Yeah. So, that's my honourable mentions done.
Lovely picks, lovely. Thank you very much for sharing them.
And next week, not next week, 2 weeks' time, I believe we're doing our top 5 leaders for TrekWars, because the general election's coming up in the UK.
Yep.
So we're going with leaders, maybe ones that could run the country better, but that's a topic for another day. That's a conversation for another day, which would probably not go down. So
at this rate, anyone could run the country better, and I will stop there. That's not referring to just whoever's in charge right now, by the way. That's all of them. That's a whole lot. Put them all in a room.
Yeah. So So let's do our outros. So, Olympus, where can we find you?
So you can find me on Twitch. I'm back on Twitch and streaming now. Thank you to Ben for helping me get back on my feet with it. So you can
No
find me on
problem.
Twitch, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on YouTube. All of them as Olympus0511. And remember, do not put that space between Olympus and 0511. Otherwise, all you'll get are...
Cameras and no Olympus.
Yes,
So, you want cameras and Olympus.
exactly. And hopefully I'll be somewhere near the top of that list still.
Yeah. So, you will find me at TrekWars and Fantasy. So, I'm on YouTube. I am on Twitter as TrekWars Fantasy because there's not enough letters for the and in there. I also have a Twitch for streaming, but I do put it on YouTube as well. So depending on which one you prefer, you can also find me and Olympus on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts. We have got free technically on various other ones, but because we're not paying out for Podbean, we're restricted to how much we can put in there. So, but for all episodes of this Duels Across the Stars and our new going to be reviews of the Acolyte series, which will be out by the time you're watching this.
It will already be out when you're watching this, I think.
Watching this, yeah. So you'll find that on YouTube. I'm sorry, on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with all the episodes. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Have a great night. Take care.